So unless you've been sleeping under a rock, the Mexico 66 by Onitsuka Tiger is booming right now. It's everywhere, popping up on streets and magazines and on social feeds. But there's a twist. Onitsuka Tiger actually shut down operations in the US in 2023, right when its most famous sneaker was exploding in popularity. And that decision wasn't careless or random. There's a science to it, and it's very Japanese. What's up, everybody? I'm Reggie Casual. This is The Cafe. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Alright, so Onitsuka Tiger has a strange position in sneaker culture. For some, it's nostalgia, like Uma Thurman shoes and Kill Bill and the like. Though those were actually the Tai Chis, not the Mexico 66s, but who's counting? For others, it's heritage. The Mexico 66 debuted for the Mexico City Olympics and introduced the tiger stripes to the world. But for most, it's that slim, easy to wear shoe you suddenly notice everywhere. And yet the brand closed its operations in New York and all other US operations in 2023. Onitsuka also shut down its US web store. Now you can still buy them from the official Japan website, but with a 15 USD shipping price and a premium surcharge to boot, not to mention tariffs. But that belies the bigger question. For a sneaker as huge as the Mexico 66 is now, why leave the biggest market? Well, according to Vogue Business, Onitsuka Tiger is undergoing a major global expansion and rebranding strategy to position itself as a luxury lifestyle brand. The sales were up 58.3% from 2023 to 2024, with operating profit up 111%. That doesn't sound like a brand in retreat. That sounds like a company tightening the circle, circling the wagons, stepping back from one market to set itself up for long-term growth. And if you walk around Tokyo today, especially in tourist-heavy areas, it's working. Mexico 66s are everywhere, on the feet of visitors who treat them like a cultural badge. Seriously, I see them so much in my newly minted tourist town that they have officially become the less conspicuous I Love Japan tee. Unless you're like me and notice people wearing things consistently, then they are the glaring I Love Japan tee. Anyway, the irony? Nihonjin, Japanese people, aren't flooding the streets in them. No. Sure, some people wear them, but you'll see just as many Derby Doc Martens, New Balances, or Solomons. That's why I always lift an eyebrow whenever Western press outlets declare everyone in Tokyo is wearing the Mexico 66s. But that's not the ground reality. What you're seeing is a heritage silhouette amplified by scarcity and outsider attention, which is the story of every brand that catches wind out west from Japan. It happened with Bape, happened with Comme des Garçons, to the point that some people didn't even know it was Japanese. It certainly happened with Capital, and now it's returning with Onitsuka. That's right, returning. This isn't the first time or even the second time Onitsuka Tiger has been plastered over every outlet you set eyes on. Back in the late 1960s and 70s, Onitsuka's running shoes and the early Mexico line had real cultural weight as Japan was stepping onto the global sports stage. Then again in the late 90s and early 2000s, again thanks in part to the Kill Bill spotlight and the renewed interest in retro sneakers, the brand surged again at that time. Now, with the Samba craze finally reaching a saturation point, the Mexico 66 is sliding into that vacuum. There's only one problem. The largest market, the US that is, as stated before, cannot get them easily. And that's the play. Mexico 66 isn't a comeback story. It's always been around, built on evergreen simplicity, light, versatile, timeless design. But back then, the Onitsuka brand was sneaker driven, as it had always been perceived. The pullback from the US and its remaining presence in Europe suggest one thing. As we stated before, Onitsuka Tiger is serious about reframing itself as a luxury sportswear brand. Alongside Nippon Made, the company has introduced the Onitsuka line, an elevated capsule that leans into premium materials, artisanal craftsmanship, and experiential retail. That's not me saying that. There's evidence. Take it from the CEO of Onitsuka Tiger, Ryoji Shoda. The official reason given was that the New York store and the wider US market at the time did not align with the brand's evolution towards a luxury direction. Shoda further explained that the location and the role of the US outpost didn't allow them to fully express the worldview of Japan, so they assessed it was better to step back. As I said, this was a very Japanese thing to do. You have a successful operation, then you pull back because, nope, that's not what we want. Yep, that is grade A Japanese culture. This line adds another tier to their strategy, reinforcing that they were not competing in the crowded mid-market, but instead carving out a prestige lane that mirrors how Japanese design often balances sport and luxury. After opening the Covent Garden flagship in London, Shoda stated, "This store goes beyond simple product sales. We will continue to celebrate Japanese design and craftsmanship. We aspire for this store to become a distinctive cultural crossroads." You heard that right. Onitsuka still has a major presence in Europe, and the why becomes a bit later because, just look at these images of their runway at Milano Fashion Week. Does this look like a brand that cares about putting shoes on every walking trend? Or does it look like a brand that wants to be something more than simply sneaker seller? The key is striking the middle ground. And here's where you have to point out the dynamic between the American US market and the European and Asian one. More specifically, the Euro one. Euro markets are considered prestige, while the US market has long been treated as the expansion market. But expansion only makes sense when a brand is confident that the image it is trying to build or has built is the one it plans to keep for the long haul. Onitsuka clearly wasn't sure that the US image matched what they wanted right now, and Shoda admitted to it. Europe, on the other hand, where casual and prestige interweave more cohesively, mirrored Japan and larger Asia in a way that felt aligned. Asia doesn't always provide the best global exposure, but Europe sits in that fashion middle ground, visible enough to be seen, but deep enough to explore philosophy and luxury. That philosophy comes alive in the Nippon Made line. As Onitsuka describes it, born in Japan, the Onitsuka Tiger brand created the Nippon Made series to showcase the marvels of Japanese craftsmanship to the world. Artisans' hands spin the timeless beauty right down to the dyeing and stitching. This isn't about trends or chasing them. It's about refining product into legacy pieces. So here's the reality. Onitsuka Tiger is tightening that grip. The Mexico 66 did blow up, but not because of celebrity endorsements, but because of everybody else. Because if we're being real, the Pinoys, the Southeast Asians on that island, they've been riding that Onitsuka wave since, I don't know, like 10, 15 years now. Not sure, don't quote me on that. But what I do know is that you couldn't go to the Onitsuka Tiger store in Harajuku without seeing a parade of Filipinos and Pinas shutting it down. They are now looking at the world like, you all late, you late, just like that. That's how they speak. And also they're saying damn. They say damn because now they gotta compete with the tourists. In any case, Onitsuka Tiger plans to monitor the US market. For now, the US is served mainly through cross-border e-commerce sales, which Shoda says account for only a small share of overall sales. It's like this dude, they don't even care. He doesn't even care. But he adds that the perception of Onitsuka as a Japanese heritage label has been enhanced, with many US customers traveling all the way to Japan specifically to buy their products, which he is not wrong about. They are buying them in droves. So the US retreat was strategy, not surrender. Scarcity breeds desire, heritage guarantees longevity, you get the deal. My advice, since I can't stop everyone from buying the same damn thing, let alone sneaker, I can only say buy into what Ryoji Shoda is talking about. Go with heritage, go with craft, and go with the Nippon Made Mexico 66 Deluxe. Don't just grab the standard pair. Hell, wait for the deluxe if you have to, if it's sold out. Why? Because that's not just a sneaker, that's a memory piece, and it aligns exactly with where the brand is headed. Anyway, what do you think? Is the Mexico 66 just a trend, overrated, or a true legacy staple? Let it be known in the comments. For more on creating legacy in your own brand, or just plain old supporting what we do here so we can do bigger and better things, join us on Patreon. And be sure to like, subscribe, and turn notifications if you found this content valuable or entertaining to you. But most importantly, keep it locked right here for all of your info in international fashion culture and business from Tokyo, and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. And I will see you all in a minute.